What's up guys, Waga Aruji here, and today we're going to be going over my top 10 anime that you need to watch before you die. So as usual, this list is my opinion, so if you disagree with my list, that's okay. Just make sure to let me know how you would have done yours differently in the comments below. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So first up on our list here, we have Samurai Champloo. One of the single greatest stories told in anime, Samurai Champloo barely needs an introduction for its spot on this list. Covering the lives of many different groups of people struggling to survive during the Edo period of Japan, we get to follow along and experience the journey of a group of three, Fu, Mugen, and Jin, as they journey through this corrupt and war-torn land as they attempt to find a samurai who smells of sunflowers on behalf of Fu, the female member of their trio. Hitting on all emotions from extreme hopelessness to jubilation, Samurai Champloo will always remain as one of the greatest anime ever made, as well as one of my personal favorites. If you haven't already, I really do hope you give it a chance. Coming in at number 9, we have Nichijou. Nichijou follows the everyday lives of various people in the town of Tokisadame, centering on the energetic Yuko Aoi, the bright and cheerful Mio Naganohara, the quiet and deadpan Mai Minakami, the anxious android Nano Shinonome, her young creator the professor, and a talking black cat named Sakamoto, along with the ensemble cast of characters. Random and or outlandish events regularly occur throughout the series, mainly through the mundane situations each character goes through. Literally following the namesake Nichijou, centering on all of these people in their daily lives, we see them fall into generally outlandish and wild, wacky occurrences as they go through their casual daily lives, going to school, working in the lab, or as a cat, just meandering around town and visiting people. Overall, this show definitely hits in the aspect of comedy, which, as if you've seen my other videos, you know doesn't normally hit for me when it comes to watching anime, as the culture barrier there kind of prevents me from understanding a lot of it. But this show definitely hits, and if you're looking for something more casual, this one should definitely be a recommendation that you take to heart. For number 8, we have Trigun. Trigun follows the story of Vash the Stampede, a mercenary on a journey around the fictional planet of No Man's Land. We come along with him on his trek as he makes new friends and cryptically hints at a past he's doing his best to forget. But the further along we get in the story, the more obvious it becomes he won't be able to avoid the confrontation with whatever it was he wanted to escape. Fun gags, interesting and unique characters, and a solid conclusion make Trigun one of the best 90s era anime. It's definitely one of those shows that I'd be hard-pressed to find someone who could speak badly about it. All in all, if you're looking for a classic anime with a great story and similar vibes to Cowboy Bebop, Trigun should definitely be on your list. Next up, we have Steins Gate at number 7. How would you react if you and your friends were just sitting around and talking about insane conspiracy theories when all of a sudden you discovered a legitimate method of time travel? And on top of that, you are all now being hunted by a secret organization hell-bent on preventing your findings from altering the future, and even one of your friends, no matter how many changes you make, always ends up dead in these alternate timelines you create. Steins Gate follows that exact plot line as we learn that Rintaro Okabe truly has fumbled his way into reliable time travel, and must now change the past to preserve his friend's future. A classic anime that has created many diehard fans. If you're into the more sci-fi, wacky, comedy-based stories out there, this is definitely one that should interest you. Next up, an all-time classic, Cowboy Bebop at number 6. This anime barely needs an introduction. Mystery, intrigue, space pirates, bounty hunting, and secretive characters, all with a past they avoid explaining at all costs. Cowboy Bebop is the anime that people refer to as a must-watch. Interesting locations, unique characters, and a killer soundtrack to boot. Not watching Cowboy Bebop is the biggest mistake any anime aficionado could make. At number 5, we have Berserk. Berserk is an insanely well-written masterpiece. This story inspired M. Night Shyamalan to create all his movies and has the biggest plot twists known to man, as well as incredible action and a hero's journey that does a whole 180, turning our protagonist's guts into the greatest anti-hero, or in some people's eyes, villain, anime has ever known. Watch the greatest one-man army as everything he knows and loves crumbles around him, and he gets thrown neck-deep into the evils of his world as he brutalizes all those who oppose him in an attempt to seek out his revenge. Berserk will forever be one of the greatest stories of all time, and while the anime show itself isn't that great, the movies will tear down all of your emotions, and it's definitely a must-watch if you haven't watched it already. Next up, we've got Your Lie in April. Have you ever wanted to feel like your heart has been pulled from your chest and is being stomped on directly in front of you while you cry ceaselessly over the loss of a loved one? Then Your Lie in April is perfect for you. Following the story of two young musicians finding their love and passion through music, Your Lie in April perfectly tugs your heartstrings in all the right ways. An undeniably beautiful story. I cannot recommend a better one to watch with your best friends, significant others, or by yourself if you really just need a good reason to cry. Aside from some of the others on this list, I really don't think many anime hold up to the quality of writing portrayed in this show. And no matter your reasoning, I hope you find it in yourself to give this one a full watch through. Next up, we've got FLCL, or Fooly Cooly. I don't think a more fitting coming-of-age anime exists. Fooly Cooly, while wild and wacky in its portrayal of all the struggles of youth, perfectly encapsulates what it's like growing up in a small hometown where nobody understands you. Through music, wild explanations with things like puberty and having a crush on a girl who doesn't feel the same, and everything in between, this show really reminds you of what life was like as a young adult just trying to find their way in the world. If you're in a nostalgic mood, this show will probably perfectly scratch that itch. And if you're like me, it might remind you of all those nights when you stayed up real late watching Adult Swim and this colorful and fun robot fighting anime popped on. Either way, with its soundtrack just carrying through the whole show and all of those feelings being exactly replicated just like they were in your early youth, I don't think there's many people out there who could disagree that Fooly Cooly deserves a spot on this list. For the number 2 spot, we have Your Name, the ultimate fantasy love story with just enough traditional Japanese folklore and mysticism mixed in to truly drive home the idea of fate and finding your other half. Your Name follows two youths, a boy and a girl, who swap consciousness overnight, waking up in each other's body over and over again, and dealing with the consequences of how their replacement acts when returning to their own bodies. With some time travel mixed in, Your Name is a feel-good, mysterious anime which hits all the right points for a perfect rom-com. Bar none my favorite anime movie, I really hope you give this one as a chance, as it's my only perfect 10 out of 10. And as with the majority of my picks for this list, the soundtrack really carries it home. It's impeccable and perfectly complements the movie. And now finally, at our number 1 spot for this list, we have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. A perfect story. Instead of following the MC as he joins the standard "save the world, you were prophesied to do so, blah blah blah," that most heroes' journey stories fall into too easily. We follow the Elric brothers as they attempt to correct their own mistakes and are slowly involved in a larger conspiracy because of their own needs and wants. Traveling through society trying to find the truth behind the Philosopher's Stone and restore their bodies, we find them being sucked into the underbelly of society, uncovering the corruption of their own government, and seeing the dark truth behind those in their society that are hailed as heroes. Most people have of course already seen this incredibly well done anime, but if you haven't, this one absolutely deserves your attention. One of the first shows I had ever watched in anime. It's honestly probably the reason I'm still so heavily invested in it today. But now that we've gone ahead and gotten through the top 10, I just want to say that this list really isn't in any particular order this time, as all of the anime on this list really do hold a special place in my heart. Any one of these could have taken the top spot, and unfortunately this is only a top 10 list, so some of the other great additions, even for my own personal favorites, had to be left off the list in this video. But anyway guys, that's my list, and if you enjoyed the video, please do drop a like, as it really does help me out. And if you want more content like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Otherwise, I've been Waga Aruji, and I'll see you in the next one.